Hey guys, Zach Calvin here with my 2014 Camaro SS drift car. Now I'm sure you've seen some videos on Instagram. And you think to yourself, what do I need to be able to do that? Well, really you need two things. Whose big balls are these? The two things that you need are a lot of seat time and the proper setup. So let's go ahead and dive into the setup of this car and see what makes it so drivable. So let's start with the chassis. It is a 2014 Camaro SS. It's a 2SS, so those that have a Camaro know that that's basically the upgraded interior and upgraded features. So it came with leather heated seats, MyLink touchscreen, backup sensors, rear view camera, all the amenities, a sunroof, so it's heavy. I decided I want to start drifting this. So let's take a look at the modifications I've done. Starting with the engine setup, it's really a stock 6.2 LS3. Stock cam, it's just got K&N intake, Texas speed and performance headers, Granatelli wires, and then it's really stock cooling system, stock radiator, stock fans. I do have a catch can, Mishimoto catch can, and then we also have a Mishimoto oil cooler. Aside from that, it's a relatively stock drivetrain. It's still factory LSD, factory TR6060. It does have a Mantic twin disc clutch in it. Now we do have these Vorschlag. These are actually camber plates. And what I've done is I've rotated the camber plates 90 degrees to allow for caster adjustment. So you want positive caster for self-steer. Really helps the car on transitions. We also have the Lingenfelter LNC 2000. This is actually a two-step box, but I have it wired all the time to where it doesn't engage on the clutch pedal. It actually engages at a set RPM. So I have it set at 6,400 RPM. That way I can just stand on rev limiter and it sounds really sick. So now let's talk about what makes this car different, which is the steering angle. Now this car utilizes the stock steering rack location, and it's essentially a custom lower control arm with a milled factory knuckle. So we can see that's the factory knuckle still. We're still utilizing the factory ABS sensor, and it essentially has a steel plate that changes the pickup point of the tie rod. This is what gives it that steering angle. You can see here, in a future video, I'll measure it to see exactly how much steering angle we have, but this is probably between 50 and 60 degrees of steering angle in comparison to probably about 28 degrees of steering angle for a stock Camaro. We have here Megan Racing adjustable coilovers, 15-way adjustable with 12 kg spring rates in the front, and I've got 6 kg spring rates in the back. The added steering angle really helps because of how heavy this car is and how long wheelbase it is. It's very snappy on transitions. So having that added steering angle really helps maintain drift. Now you'll notice I am running into some issues with rubbing. We can see there a lot of rubbing. I'm even running a 25mm spacer on a 19 by 8.5 wheel. And I'm still hitting the chassis as well as the subframe. So I've got some work to do there. I might notch and just put a steel plate there. But for the most part, this car is still street driven and it hasn't lost any of the drivability. I can cruise on highways at 100 miles an hour if the speed limit is that. But the car still drives like a street car.
Street car my ass.
As for the wheels, these are Vossen CV1s. They're 19 by 8.5 up front. We've got steel braided brake lines and some upgraded drilled and slotted rotors. Braking is pretty crucial, especially at high speeds when you're sideways. The back of the car is Vossen CV1s. These are 19 by 10.5. But what's really cool about this is the dual caliper setup. So this is the only bolt-on kit in the world at the moment for 5th gen Camaros. It's made by Drift HQ. It's got CNC brackets, billet aluminum brackets. It's a complete bolt-on solution. Has its own individual reservoir, so you don't have to tap into your current brake lines. And the way that it works is when you pull that handbrake, you can see that there's actually a standalone reservoir. And when you pull that handbrake, it moves fluid to this secondary set of Willwood 4-piston calipers. So when you want to lock up the rear brakes only, you pull that handbrake, it locks them up. And that's a way that you can initiate drift, which I'll talk about in an upcoming video. As for the back of the car, see if we can show you guys the setup back here. Megan Racing coilovers in the back. Used to have BMR lower control arms, but I hit a curb, so we got the factory control arms right now. BMR sway bar, also have a BMR tow arm in there, as well as a BMR trailing arm. So I just need to get the new LCAs again. As you can see, it's straight pipe. So it's Texas Speed and Performance 1 7/8 inch headers, and then a MagnaFlow X pipe, and then dumps at the differential. Let's take a look at the interior. So here we have a Grip Royal, I think 350 steering wheel, 350 millimeter. Got an NRG short hub with a quick release. And then we have Corbeau DFX seats, no back seat. Trying to save weight as much as I can. This car is super heavy, but running the Corbeau DFX seats with their harnesses, super comfortable seat. But as you can see, for the most part, I still have a lot of interior. Chevy MyLink, touchscreen, still all the factory gauges and stuff like that. So, a pretty comfortable car to drive long distances. Pretty fun to be able to sit on grid, just listen to music, chilling in the AC, while everyone else is sweating in their drift cars. So that's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this closer look at my Camaro drift car. As you can see, aside from the steering modifications and the hydraulic handbrake, the car is essentially similar to how any Camaro out there would be. So if you own a Camaro, my advice to you is just get out and drive, right? Get the seat time in, and everything else will slowly progress. Hope you guys love this video. Please subscribe. Make sure you comment and like as well. A lot more to come.